Hi, and welcome to Loving the Planets for the week of May 15th. I'm Armand Diaz in New York.
And I'm Margaret Gray in Dublin.
Margaret, after a very harrowing week last week, we had Mercury conjunct Uranus at the Scorpio full moon. I feel that this week is more a time as the moon goes through the collective signs, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Kind of the feel that this is a time to sort of sort things out and get a little perspective on things.
Oh, yes. I think it's really time to draw breath a little bit. I think we've just had so much intensity, and also it's felt so jagged, the energy, especially with the Mercury-Uranus conjunction in Aries, which really affected communication so dramatically that it felt like there was so much sudden surprises, unexpected communication, lots of, things that still went wrong, even though Mercury gone direct. So this is going to be quite a change this week because, of course, Mercury goes into Taurus for the next 3 weeks. So that's really huge in terms of relationships, in terms of how we communicate in our relationships, and very, very important. I mean, you and I, Armand, have talked quite a lot about the importance of Mercury in relationships and how often it's really underestimated. And yet, relating is all about Mercury. Really, that's what he is. He's kind of the bridge, the communicator. He connects us with other people. He connects us within ourselves. So when he changes signs, it really kind of does create a change in relationships.
And Mercury's coming back into Taurus because he was in Taurus already, and then he retrograded out of it into Aries, where he's stationed, and then met Uranus. And as we keep saying, it was quite a challenging retrograde. A lot of things happened that were beyond the typical snafu, annoyances type of thing. People were really dealing with some serious issues. And now getting back into Taurus going forward, I feel that it's going to be like a good opportunity to, feel more grounded, to be, being a little slower and a little bit more basic in communication is probably a pretty good thing for us as we get to this particular juncture.
Well, I think that one of the big issues with Mercury in Aries conjunct Uranus was the huge impatience and intolerance around. I think even the most patient people felt the urge to say things which they mightn't always say, and the tone of voice was a little bit, erratic and abrupt. So I think now going back into Taurus, it's much calmer, it's very grounded, it's slower, as you said. It's also very imaginative, and of course, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So I think there's much more that inclination to be a little diplomatic, to maybe think before speaking. So all of those good things that I think, particularly after the few weeks we've had, I think we're really going to appreciate it. And also just for our nervous system, it's less jangled, I think, with Mercury in Taurus, because, that was just incredible what we had the last few weeks.
Yeah, Mercury in Aries just wants to go fast and blurt things out, and then he's going retrograde, so he's stumbling backwards. It was, it was this stop-go, like I've got to go forward and I can't type of energy, very frustrating. And yeah, I think, we'll be going slower, but I think we'll be a little bit more ready for it. Although, on the other side of the coin, the sun goes into Gemini, leaves Taurus and that sort of slow, sensual energy of Taurus, and gets into a little bit more of the, the chatty or sociable, get out there and connect type of energy of Gemini.
Yes, that's on the Saturday. So really, the weekend is a great time for going out and mixing with friends. And, I often, the sun in Gemini is an interesting one because, of course, it's air. So we're in the realm of the mind, of ideas. We're moving from Earth into kind of a whole different sphere. And it's a dual sign. So there's always two sides to Gemini. So I think when the sun is in Gemini, it's almost like those two sides are with us, that we're kind of thinking, oh, that's interesting. I kind of feel okay. Maybe I don't feel okay. I want to do this. I don't want to do this. So a little bit like sometimes Libra can be like that. Of course, the other air sign, the balance. So I think it's interesting. Gemini tends to do well with conversations. It really does want communication, but it's going to be with Mercury in Taurus, as we said, so it's a little bit of slower communication. So the sun in Gemini might want to take some action. Good time to really go on little trips together with somebody, to do some fun things. It wants lightness. I always think of sun in Gemini as wanting lightness, not wanting to kind of get too kind of stuck on, duty and obligation and all those things.
Well, that's certainly the case. I think also too. We have to note that on Friday we have Venus and Aries opposite Jupiter and Libra. Now, an opposition can go a couple of different ways. It can be a little bit of a push-pull between me and what I want to do and us and what we want to do. Or what I want us to do is maybe the way to put it. But Venus and Jupiter, they get along very well, and Jupiter is in Venus's sign, and I feel that it's actually a pretty good aspect. It seems like it might be great for meeting new people. It might be great for going out and socializing. I think what might rankle a little bit is if you have a formal thing to go to. You might just want to go have fun, Venus and Aries, and the Libra energy might be a little bit hard if you're sort of like locked into having the tie and stuff like that on. But I think Friday night, or even, to tell you the truth, the aspect is exact on Friday, so Thursday night might be a real fun time to get out. Moon in Pisces on Thursday. And that might be a good time.
Well, that's great. I've got a friend who's going out to a formal do on Thursday night, so I hope she's going to listen in, because it's clearly the best night for her to do it. So that's fabulous. It's interesting, the Venus opposite Jupiter, because I think there's something also about balance, something about that Jupiter in Libra does help to find a little bit of balance with the Venus in Aries. So it really can be quite a playful aspect, but also, a little bit of compromise is available. And of course, just, going back to the Thursday as well, we've got the Saturn in Sagittarius trying the Uranus in Aries. So we're back to that dynamic of kind of, I think, aligning our beliefs with our actions. So, in our relationships, really considering, am I doing something that I really believe in, or am I doing it just because I have to do it, or because, and I don't really want to do it? So I think a lot of the energies the past few weeks and what we're going into are really pushing us more and more into, what we've got globally, that Uranus and Aries energy of being absolutely true to ourselves and not doing anything that doesn't feel authentic to us. I think, that's very important.
I agree. I think that we're going to recognize, one of the things that we can recognize this week is that some of the melodramas that we've had over the past few months, with Venus retrograde and everything, are just that. They're melodramas, and, they're important, and we're processing emotions and stuff. But, sometimes getting a breath of fresh air, taking a big view of things, the moon in Aquarius at midweek is going to help with that. The Saturn Uranus is going to help with that. Sometimes getting like a big view of things is really quite helpful. And, you can sort of step away from your stuff for a while, and that'll help relationships quite a bit.
Literally. And, literally what you said, getting some fresh air, sometimes I say to couples when they're really kind of locked into something, just go out into the open air, or open all the windows in the house and literally let some air in and get some space. I think sometimes we forget, the basics in nature to just kind of get air, literally. And that helps a little bit to get out of that enmeshed, locked in position.
It's one of those things that we miss very frequently, is that the elements, air, fire, earth, water, if you are working with them, you don't have to just be at the abstract level or the emotional level, or you getting out there and dealing with the physical things themselves. Very, very helpful. And this is a very good week to get some air.
Absolutely. And hopefully the sun will be shining wherever you all are. And I hope you have a fabulous week, and we will see you all next week. Thanks, Armand. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.